Hey guys, today I think I'm going to be able to get enough or use enough advanced henna and up my tattoos enough to be able to get knighthood, and so I don't know if I'm looking forward to that, but I at least think it's something that I should go ahead and do. Start, the earlier that I can do it, the more MPs I can do, without having to use crusades and all of that, sort of catch up on gear and things. And so yeah, well, let's go ahead and do this. I don't want to spend too much time just clicking on the tattoos or talking about clicking on the tattoos, since we've been over that. The only thing that I really want to adjust to what I was talking about in my previous videos about advanced henna, a couple of big things. One is you really need to be careful of the range of the increasable stats. So here, this one is very, very high up, and I shouldn't have done it this way. So it's only 21 to 22. So you want one, the lowest that you'll gain is always 21. But here, this one's at plus 3,200 or so, and it's 21 to 28, so a little bit better than that one. The one that I worked on last time in the video is 21 to 34, so not too bad. But it's actually better if I spread things out, because if I go into one of these much lower ones, it's 21 to 40. So it's better for me to just spread things out a bit and see how things go. So I need plus 8,000 intelligence and plus 2,000 endurance and plus 2,000 defense. So one thing that I definitely will need to do is go into this intelligence tattoo and change it from subtracting endurance, because that's going to cancel out my endurance tattoo, and change this into subtracting charisma probably. So I'll use the normal henna to do that and just go in there. So change to defense, but that's, oh wait, okay, so the increase, okay, never mind, leave that alone, don't need to save it. So intelligence minus defense, minus endurance again. So I'm using the normal henna just to make sure that I'm not using nice resources. Okay, so I got intelligence minus strength, and I had to use a ton of normal henna just to get that there. But I do have to change this tattoo. I have no other option but to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and take the intelligence minus strength, intelligence minus charisma. Somebody was talking to me about how, I was saying, oh, I should just subtract all strength. Actually, at a certain point, you subtract so much strength that you lose a lot of physical defense, and then it's better to just lose the 5,000 attack that you would lose from having negative troops. So eventually I probably will do all subtracting charisma, but at the moment I need to settle for whatever, because I only have 24 of these regular tattoos to work with. So hopefully I get lucky with the expert tattoos and don't have to adjust with the normal henna too much. And this one is already intelligence minus strength, so we're good to go there. And so yeah, we can work on this guy, maybe just for a bit of symmetry. So here I'm gonna go ahead. I've allotted myself exactly 10,000 henna, because you do need to be careful about how much you're using, and so I just wanted to make sure that I'm going to do exactly 100 cleanses. So far, no changes in these numbers. We'll see how long that lasts. Okay, so now the 21 to 39. I don't know if it's better. Well, I mean, technically it is better to just go around and do these smaller tattoos. The only thing that I'm worried about is how they add up. So I need to be able to get. I need plus 2,000 defense. This one I'm also going to have to change, so at some point I need to go in here. So I'm going to try and get this tattoo, even though the increasable stat, I need to change this at some point. So I think I'm just going to use some expert henna on that, and the moment that this changes into either defense or endurance, then I'll take it. So I got endurance minus strength, so I'm going to just take that one and leave that alone. And this one I have a defense. So right now I'm at just exactly plus 8,000 intelligence. That's a little bit dangerous because as these tattoos change, they'll no longer be intelligence. Oh, bugger. Okay. So before I thought it was better to just work on one tattoo because of like how the ratios were between the increasing and decreasing stats, but I was totally off about that. But anyway, we'll work on this guy and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm getting very close, and so the problem is these two intelligence tattoos, these two expert intelligence, don't quite add up to 8,000 on their own, and I guess I could increase this one a bit, but I put so much effort into making sure that it was an intelligence tattoo. And how many do I have? Okay, so I have 55 of these cleanses to work with, and so I think what I'm going to do is just try and get this defense tattoo to plus 2,000. I think so. Because right now I'm at 8,000 intelligence and 2,000 endurance. So I just need to work up the defense. Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, and so right as I'm hitting over 2,000 defense, I also get a defense minus charisma, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. I have 13 more cleanses that I need to do, but I'll save that for later because I just want to get into the knighthood stuff. I'll make sure to do the return on the event and everything. I definitely won't forget that. It's too important. And so yeah, now I have I think I've met the requirements. So I'm subtracting a lot of strength and some charisma. That is a-okay with me. So we're going to go ahead and do this audience with a king, little, what's it called? Somebody messaging me, Scoon probably wanting to do MPs. Let me get knighthood first. So audience with a king 3. So the first one, of course, was just the normal class advancement, then it was getting all the talents for class advancement, and now it is knighthood. And so I can choose between the arcane tech and the restoration. I have enough stats for the restoration in some ways, but not the right spread. So I was aiming to get the offensive setup, and so this one is going to have all attacks, no heals. So that should be very scary. And this is sort of mortifying. I just sort of jumped in. So goodbye to all my heals for at least for a while until I can build up my tattoos so that I have the defense. So that is completed. And I got some XP there. Not much. XP is going to be quite important now. So now I have this set up. I can't go into this this restoration talent because I don't have the tattoo requirements. So you can actually flip between the two as long as you meet both requirements. I have seen many players just push everything into the arcane talents. If I wanted, I could right now switch my tattoos back over to all intel, but I won't do that right now. I mean, it's totally doable. That's fine. I'm just not gonna bother. But I have only these top options available to me, and then assignable skill points are 10, and we can look at the skills. I'm sort of curious about. Okay, so of course there are talents. We'll get to that. What I'm curious about is like my XP bar. So current XP is maybe profile. Oh, mage. Okay, thank you for informing me. So there are 8 class level stages. Each of these stages is, I assume that it's supposed to be, say, further divided into 10 levels between each separated stage. Level overview for each class. Okay, so it's very much so the same as the other class advancement, just with different names. And I assume I get skill points along the way. So I don't know if it's every 2 levels. I doubt that. That seems like a bit too much. My guess is that it's every 5 levels. So what I'm going to do is use this get XP. So this is accumulated over a few days. You can't do it for like an entire month, but it'll save like maybe a couple weeks worth at most. 10 days or something like that. I don't know. There's no help on it. Well, can I? Okay, so this is like twice as much XP. It'd be what? Almost 350 million. Will I get? It's 285 million for the first level. So this one doesn't even get it. If I can use bound balins on this, oh, do I really want to spend bound balin? It's 141 bound balin. Let's just get it. I'll level up. So there I am. I'm a level 2 trainee something. And oh, I already gained 1 skill point from that. That's interesting. So maybe it is every 2 levels. So here we have Thunder Gust. This is the basic attack, a 2-second cooldown. That's interesting. No 1-second cooldown. I know all this stuff sort of, but I'm not super familiar with it. Magical attack is increased by 20%. And then we have Fiery Lotus. So the passives are already put into these active skills. And so these 2 skills are available for both sets. Whether I have Arcane Tech or Restoration, I get Thunder Gust and I get Fiery Lotus. This is an AoE, and so it's going to deal 180 to all enemies unless I level it up. And then the passive effects are increased HP by 20% and increase MDef by 30%. And these 2, I didn't add any points to them, but they default give you 2 points, 1 into each of these basic attacks. So here we have Criminal Trial. Looks like I have to put points in this to get the other stuff. So Criminal Trial deals 370% damage to a random enemy and boosts its damage received by 30%. That is pretty nasty. We'll take that. Still need to keep on upgrading it. It's not giving me any other options. Unless I need to upgrade these guys. Let me see. What are the requirements? So these are passive. I'm looking at the active skills is what I'm curious about. Okay, this requires Criminal Trial level 5. So I have to get this to level 5. I have to max it no matter what. And then passives. 20% chance to decrease enemies' awakening points by 150 when dealing damage. I mean, that's nasty, but right now I just need active skills. I can't worry about these passives too much. 20% because there are very few options as far as the skills go. Energy control, 20% to decrease enemies' awakening points by 150 when dealing... Oh, sorry, that was the same one. 20% chance to reduce damage received by 15% when dealing damage last 2 turns. So there is some, at least a shield involved. I'm not seeing any heals though. Here's Hell's Requiem. This is an attack, basically in Delphic. The rage consumption is 80, so it's relatively high. Deals 400% magic damage to the whole enemy group and boosts their damage received by 30% last 2 turns. Okay, so a lot of increased damage received. So this is very, very nasty in group play. Let's see here. So these ones require Hell's Requiem at level 3, and these are both passives. 20% chance to decrease all enemies' resistances by 50% when dealing damage, and stackable up to 3 times. Oof. And 15% chance to remove 1 beneficial buff from the enemy when dealing damage. So there's a little scatter possibility. And Lightbringer, which gave me quite a bit of trouble in Class Wars, recovers 1200 awakening points for the entire party. And I think when this is level 5, it's like over 2000 points for the whole party. So you can just like have your whole party increase their awakening points and go into Sylph mode and kill everybody. The only thing that's really scary about Lightbringer is that if you get chaosed, you give Lightbringer to your enemy, you're really screwed. So so I am the last person that wants to be chaos right now. So I need to do the multiplayer dungeon. So I really rather you know, like, have more than 3 skills. And this one is a whole enemy group, so this is an AoE, so this is gonna definitely help me out. And so I think we just need to put some points in there. And I think, well, I mean, I guess I can bring light, put 1 point here, unless there's a passive that really decrease awakening points to reduce damage received. Chance to remove 1. I don't know if I'll need this, like, chance to remove a buff for the MPs. I've heard they're not that difficult. Okay, I just really don't think I need Lightbringer. It's very easy for me to reset these because with Spirit Covenant it is free. So it's not going to charge me for that. So I'll just bring Lightbringer and maybe we can just show the skills. Okay, so now that I finally actually need XP, I'm gonna show up to Tree to get a little bit of extra XP, and while we're at it, why don't I just do the talents, and then I'll show the skills and all of that. The talents, of course, are one of the main appeals to Knighthood. I don't think the skills are anything like totally outrageous, but the talent points for sure are. And we have the costs all listed out on the blog. You can look up Knighthood talents for all classes, and it should come up. And so it looks very tame at first. You're like, 200 Balins. Even if for real Balins, I would buy it. And then, but you can't use bound Balins, so for sure I'm going to be using bound Balins. So pay 200. And so I have 1 talent point. It works like all the other talents. Your other talent, but your previous talents are gone, because those are all relevant to other skills. So there's no real point in having them anymore. But this talent cost gets steep very quickly. So I did bother to go on the blog and do the math, and I only have enough bound Balins for like 20 of these, 21 of these. I am thinking about making Odin, and then I need some bound Balins for Odin. But I don't quite have enough Balins for Odin yet, so even with this recharge, so maybe with whatever I need for Odin, I'll get enough bound Balins for the skills for that Sylph. So I'm just going to go ahead and deplete my bound Balins, but not any of my real ones. Okay, so 600, 1,000, 1,400, 1,800, 2,400... and it keeps going up, so these get steep very quickly. Very unpleasantly. So I'm just watching my bound Balins disappear. So at the moment, only using bound Balins. And I am down to 20k bound Balins, or a little more than 20k, and the cost is now 13,800. So this is the last one I can do. I don't have enough bound Balins for the 15k, so I am stuck with 20 points. And so that's not bad. It's not great either, considering that there are a lot of other people with like 40 plus. But at least for starters, this is good. And then you know, pretty much can't use bound Balins on anything else other than the merge Sylph skills. Obviously, I have to use them there. But so the obvious place to put them here is res reduction. That's gonna get a nice 10, and then so there's a lot of like iffy stuff here with which ones you should put points into. I have had access to one of the Knighthood tunes, an archer from my guild Evil Era, and I tried things out. I tested things with a buddy of mine. And so actually it is very good to put them into the resistances. At first I was like, for sure you just want to get intensity and crit. Intensity is going to increase the amount of damage you deal in PvP, and so I am interested in this one. I thought with 10 points I might do 3, 3, 3, and then 1 into intensity. Tenacity, sure, you want to decrease the damage you take against opponents, but I mean, in the scheme of things, it's not that big. And then influence and penetration. I mean, influence for knighthood is silly. They don't give you a single. So none of these skills here, none of these active skills, have a chance to stun. So the only reason why you need influence is to protect against people who don't have knighthood yet and can potentially stun you. I think that's it, right? Like, I don't see another point to it. I mean, I really feel like, at least against other opponents, having more resistances actually will help me more than having tenacity. At the same time, I want the intensity. I also want to increase my crit stat, which is something I've taken for granted lately. But what I think I'm going to do is put 3 into each of these resistances for now. And again, like the skills, I can reset these very easily. And then put 1 into intensity and crit. And pretty much any upgrade I make here, the rest of it's going to go into intensity and crit. So yeah, a huge BR gain up to 9.27 BR, and that's largely because of the resistances have gone up a lot. So those are looking pretty nice. This is with 3 crystals of each, and I only have a couple of expert dimensions, I think. Well, looks like I have 2.5 dimensions at the moment. So yeah, and the reduced res looking really, really good. I mean, I don't even have really great dimensions on at the moment, and that reduced res is very, very nice. So yeah, that's knighthood. Alright, so I'll be back after tree to test out the skills. Maybe I'll just show doing like Tower Kings or something. Okay, in retrospect, I did record all of this stuff, but I think it's better to show all of the skills in the new MP, and I will do that, and you'll get to see all of them in action against the new multiplayer dungeon and all that stuff. So next video is going to be both of the new multiplayer dungeons, so definitely check that out, and thanks for watching, you guys. Take care, and have a very good day.